Hi guys, I'm Annabelle and welcome to Meeple Village. Today we're going to be doing a run-through of Resident Evil, the board game. Some of you have asked me to see this game in action, so join me at the table and let's play Resident Evil.
Alright guys, I have the game set up and ready to go. The first thing that we need to do in this game is look at what scenario we're playing. Now I decided to go with the scenario that's not in the scenario book, but the one that is given in the actual rules manual. So what they do is they give you a basic explanation of just the basic rules of the game. And then before moving to additional rules, they provide a scenario for you to play. And I believe that at least will give you the basic idea of how the game plays. Of course, there's much more that will be added in those additional rules, but this at least will give you an oversight of, what Resident Evil looks like. And if you have owned other Resident Evils, you're going to notice a lot of similarities. There are a few changes, but for the most part, it's a lot of what you've seen before. So let's go to the book and see what the scenario is all about. All right, and here we are. Here's our tutorial, the gunshot. And there's a little bit of flavor text if you'd like to read it. And then the playing area with our map, which I have already set up on the board, is here. So we're going to be starting on these numbers. So I put our two characters there. And then we have A tokens, which are things that we can search and collect. And then we have zombies, 6 zombies, I believe, on the board. And our goal for this scenario is to reach the exit and take an action to exit this room, or actually it's more than one room, but I guess this building. So on the bottom, it tells you what tiles you need. And when you're placing them, it doesn't matter which tiles you pick, the orientation for the ones that, of course, are squared, or the spawn points. It doesn't matter. Pretty much it gives you a little bit more random, although what I've noticed is that the spawn points are in the same place no matter which side I flip it, but I guess if you turn it. So don't worry about it too much, just, set it up facing whichever way and you're good to go. So over here, it's just telling us how to choose characters, how to set it up, how to do the card decks, which I have done, but I'm letting you take a look at that, and then how to play the tutorial. Let's see. Like I said, we have to exit. And we're going to ignore the tough hide rule on the zombie reference card, which I'm going to show you in a second. And if the tension deck runs out, we just shuffle it. Basically, that's what we need to know. And rerolling dice, if you reroll, you must accept the new result. So, and if you get a multiple dice rerolled, you have to roll all the dice. Let's see. And here it talks about equidistant targets, which we'll talk about if we have that issue, which we might not even have that issue during the tutorial, but it's nice that they tell us how to resolve it, right? So as far as our A items, and you can see that there's a letter A on these cards, the tutorial has asked us to include 2 handgun bullets, and 2 green herbs. Those are going to be the items that we can find throughout the game. We're going to give those a shuffle and set them aside. And then as far as the tension deck, which has doors on it, the game asked us to pick 15 of the all clear. So I have 15 here. And then pick these 3, Vigorous, Mortis, Cornered, and Favored Assault. And we're going to give that a shuffle. So there's a chance that we can come across those, but most of the time we should be getting all clears and being okay to go on to the next turn. And of course, you'll understand all of that in a minute. All right, so let me show you the zombie card, and I'll show you also the characters that I've picked. I'm playing with Barry, and I'm playing with Rebecca. It's going to have the tough hide. If the enemy is killed, replace it with a corpse, and we're going to ignore that for this tutorial because, of course, the rules for corpses are going to be provided in the additional rules of the manual of the rule book. But this zombie is going to be doing a attack at 0 range, so they have to be at the same spot as a character, and they will inflict 1 hit when they do. So we have to be able to evade that. And they have a special attack if the tension deck, which is the deck we just saw, has that symbol on the bottom. Then instead of doing their typical attack, they do this attack, which, we're going to take a look at those symbols in a minute so you know what they mean. And then he moves 1, and he has a health of 1. and that's the threat level. In scenarios where you have multiple enemies, whoever has the highest threat level will activate first. But here all we have is zombies, so they all have the same threat level. All right, and we're going to be playing with two characters. One of them is going to be Rebecca. If this was a regular game out of the scenario book, she would be starting with these items. So a handgun, and I believe those are, I don't know what those, something medical, something that heals you. I can tell because there's a plus sign on them. And because she is our medic, she is a field medic. Once per turn, Rebecca can use a medical item without spending an action, and she has a specialist training. When Rebecca uses a medical item, heal the character an additional level. And up here, we have how many dice she will roll when she's evading monsters. So when she gets attacked. Next to it, the 6 is the amount of items she can hold in her inventory. So she's got 2 right now, but she can have 4 more. I'm guessing they're characters that can carry more stuff. And then the 4 is something we're not going to use during this scenario. It's the number of kerosene items that she can hold. But we're not going to be needing that. And then here is our health tracker. She starts at fine, but we can move it and go all the way to danger. And of course, if it ever goes out of here, then that means that we have lost the scenario because we both have to survive. Let's see. Not sure what these things are. I'm sure they'll be explained in the additional rules, but I haven't gotten to those just yet, to be honest, because I didn't want to get confused while I was playing the tutorial. Now, she has 2 weapons. Everybody starts with the same weapon. She has a handgun, which has 15 ammunition, and we have an ammo token right here set to 15, or well, I meant to set it to 15, and we'll have that there. And it's nice that it has the name of the gun right there, so we know which one they're referring to. Of course, in this case, we only have 1, but you can see that we could have multiple weapons with ammo in them. All right, so this is a weapon, and then when we roll our dice, we are going to see what results we got, and depending on the results we get, we have some effects. And I'm going to show you the iconography in a minute. This gun also has rapid fire, which means that usually it only rolls 1 blue die, but if I spend an extra ammunition, I can roll 2 dice, and if I spend yet another, so 3 ammunitions total, I could be rolling 3 dice instead of just 1. And then my knife, same thing. It has the symbols and the effects. So it also rolls 1. It can only be used at a range of 1, so in the same space or adjacent. Whereas the handgun can be used as long as we have line of sight. And line of sight is a straight line that doesn't cross any corners or walls, or of course the edge of the board. And then I'm just going to show you Barry's card because the rest of his setup is exactly the same. Again, he would have started with a knife, a gun, and whatever that is. And he has Get Away From Me. If Barry is attacked and fails his evade roll, Barry can push each enemy in his square. Very nice. So he's harder to, I mean, he will still get hurt, I would think so, but then he can push enemies away. And then he's accurate when making an attack with a handgun. Barry treats evade results as hit results instead. Wow, so yeah, he's very accurate. I like him. All right, so he only rolls 1 to evade monsters, which I'm guessing that's probably why he has that ability. Although Rebecca only rolled 2, so not much difference, really. He can carry up to 6 items and the 2 kerosene, which, again, are not going to matter. And then the back of the rule book has a very nice quick reference. And here are all those symbols that we talked about. So what I'll do is when we come across them, I'll show you on the book what they mean. But just in case we don't come across them for whatever reason, here are all of them so you can take a look. And then in the game, it tells us, what to do. During our turn, we're going to have an action phase where characters are going to perform up to 4 actions. And these are the different actions that we can perform. And then once the hero goes, then the enemies will have a reaction phase in which they will go. And then after that, we'll have a tension phase where we draw one of those door cards and hopefully get all clears. But there's also stuff that happens out of sequence. So, and these are the things that you really have to pay attention to because you might forget. So there's going to be an out of sequence action for the monsters when we make an attack and there's monsters around, when we take any action in the same square as an enemy, or when we attack an enemy in the same square. So we'll come back to those when those things happen. And then over here, it tells you what results you need in order to evade attacks from monsters. And again, we'll come back to that when the monsters are attacking us, but we're ready to go. All right, so if you see these red lines, that what it means is that I can't cross from that tile to that tile. You can only cross from one tile to another through doors. So, and I believe, I don't remember which one was the first one. I don't think it matters. You can actually pick whoever you want to go first. And I guess we'll have Barry go first since he's on my left, and that way I can keep track of who's gone. So Barry's going to go first. He's on the way up here. He needs to come all the way to the exit. And if you played other Resident Evil games, you know that sometimes shooting at monsters or trying to kill the zombies is not the best way to go because it's really hard to hit in this game. These dice, which you're going to see when we start attacking, which I'm sure I will, are pretty much in the monster's favor. Like, it's really hard to get a hit. Although Barry has a special ability that lets him shoot more accurately. All right, so what's he going to do? Well, he's going to take four actions, and the first one's going to be to move. So there he goes. We started. And then the second action is going to be to open a door. So he'll open this door. And this is I got the Kickstarter, which came with the doors and terrain. It's called a terrain box, really. And so I have, but if you don't have I don't know that it's a deluxe version. It came included with the Kickstarter. The game comes with tokens that you can use, and you'll just flip the door from closed to open once you do that. In this scenario, there are no locked doors, but later on in other scenarios, you might find locked doors, which of course you have to find the key first before you can open it, etc. But before I lose my turn, I don't want my second action, so I have two more. Let's go one to move and one over here, so that I need an action to pick that up. Searching does take one of my 4 actions, and I'm out of actions, but at least I'll be prepared. And then what happens is, like I said, after the hero goes, the monsters are going to go. And if the only monsters that are going to have a reaction phase are the monsters that are linked to the tiles that the active character is in. So any monsters that are here, which is linked by this door, and any monsters that are on this tile will react. The monsters that are not on these 2 tiles that are linked because the door is closed will not react. So this is the only guy. So he kind of heard him coming, so he's going to, because he's not in range of him, he cannot attack him because Barry will need to be in the same square because, right, like we talked about, he's a range 0 guy. So then we look at his movement, and he has a movement of 1. So he's slowly moving towards Barry, which my plan is to pick that up and then try and kill him so I can continue moving, because this is a hole and I can't get through him. I mean, I could. You can move through monsters, but of course then there's out of sequence actions if you do any action other than if you do any action other than attacking the monster in a square with him. Remember, we're going to get a reaction and they're going to attack us. It's basically what's going to happen. So we have his turn, his 4 actions, and we also have the reaction phase for the monsters. That's the only monster that's going to activate, so we are going to go to the tension phase where we're going to reveal a door. And behind door number 1, we get an all clear. And these have flavor text, so I'm just going to show it to you, and if you want to read the flavor text, the flavor text is limited. I've found that it starts repeating after a while, but there are a few different ones. So there's that one. And it's that simple. We've completed his turn. We're going to go to Rebecca, who also has the opportunity of doing 4 actions. Now hers, actually you can't move diagonal. So let's see, if we move 1, 2, we can open the door and try to shoot him. She's not as good at shooting as Barry is. So, but we gotta move, right? So let's do it. So for her 3rd action, she's gonna open the door. And for the 4th action, she's going to attack. Now, remember, her gun only shoots 1, and we do have to go down on the ammunition because, of course, she's going to be using 1 ammunition. Now, because it's a rapid fire, like I told you, I can spend more ammo to roll more dice, and I think I will. I'm going to go down to 13 and roll 2. I don't want to roll 3. I think maybe with 2 I can get him. I don't know. She's not as lucky as Barry, like I said, but let's try it. And just to show you the phases of the die, that's a push, which means we would be successful if we hit this. We don't hit him. We don't actually get to inflict any damage on the monster, but we do get to push him away, and it counts as a success. That's a hit, so that would actually inflict 1 damage, which is enough to kill him. That's another push. So we got 2 pushes, 1 hit, and then 3 fails, because these arrows are what we need to evade the monsters. So 50-50 chance of actually hitting him in 2 dice. Again, remember that if Barry gets one of the evade symbols, he actually turns it into a hit. So let's see what we get. All right, so we got to push him because we got that symbol. We didn't hit him with the other one. So it does count as a success. So we look at our out of sequence. We made an attack. Each enemy on the same or linked tile performs a move action. Each enemy that was not attacked. But he's the only enemy that's on the linked tile, so I think we're okay there. Let's see. We did not make an action in the same space. He was adjacent. And here's one, attacking an enemy in the same square. If the attack is not successful, which it was successful, then the character is automatically hit by the target's basic attack. But we were successful with the push. Push him a little further from us. And again, he's the only one that's linked. This guy is not linked because he's in another tile. These guys are not linked because they're in another tile and the door is closed. But that was all of Rebecca's actions. So now we go into the reaction phase, and these 2 rooms are linked now that the door is open. So this zombie is going to come right back. But if I would have pushed him, he would have been able to come closer to me and attack me. And actually, he would have hit me automatically if I would have succeeded with my attack. So now we go to the to the tension phase. And okay, we already got a yellow one, Fevered Assault. So we have Fevered Assault. Unnatural vigorous possesses the undead as they hurt themselves So we have Fevered Assault, and there's a little bit of flavor text, but the important part is the one that's not bold. During the next player's turn, increase enemy movement values by 1. And this symbol is we're not gonna worry about it right now. That's for the campaign when the danger in the campaign is up to that symbol. But we haven't even started a campaign yet. This is just a tutorial. So it doesn't really affect Rebecca, but it's going to affect Barry during this turn. So we're going to go to his turn, and the first thing he's going to do is he's going to take an action to pick up this item. So we remove it. And we get handgun bullets. So this is going to increase the character's handgun ammunition dial by 8 points. I can just save it in my inventory and use it as an action to go back to get more bullets. And yeah, I found bullets. That's nice. So he's up to 3 out of his 6 things that he can have in his inventory. For his second action, you betcha, he's going to attack that monster. And let's see what he can do. So he's also rolling 1, but he also has, let me put him in the same spot so I don't get confused. So with his handgun, he's also rolling 1, but he can use more bullets to roll more. So I'll have him roll 2 as well, especially since I know I have bullets in my pocket. So let's roll 2 dice, and his special ability, when making an attack with the handgun, Harry treats the big evade result as a hit. So if he rolls that, he would it would count as if he would have rolled a hit. All right, let's do it. But what he rolled was a hit, so that's all we need, because again, the zombies only have 1 HP. So this zombie is gone, and we don't get XP or anything in this game for any of that. We are just happy that the zombie's out of here. And remember, if it was a regular game, we would turn him into a corpse, but in a scenario, we ignore that. So that was his second action. So for his third and fourth, he's just going to move, and then we're going to reveal another card. Actually, before we reveal a card, we should have the reaction phase. The only thing is that there are no zombies in his space. And remember, during this reaction phase, because of Rebecca's card, the zombies will move an extra space, like move one more than their usual move. But again, there are no monsters, so we got locked out. All right, now let's reveal a card. Okay, it's an all clear, so we're good. We'll go back to Rebecca, who still has a zombie. So she could use the knife, but I think in this game, there are no silent weapons. So you would think the knife doesn't make any noise, but it still does. Of course, there are no other monsters that would come, and we could save our bullets. So maybe. But again, she'll have to get 1 out of 6. Well, it's still a 50-50 chance that she can push him. And I think if he pushes him, we can maybe walk around him, but no matter where we go, he's going to get us. He's going to reach us. So, but just to show it to you, let's use the knife and see what happens. So we're rolling only 1. Let's try it. Oh my goodness, we got it. What? Okay. Well, that knife was more effective than our gun somehow. So yeah, the knife can attack in the same space or 1 away. As long as you have line of sight, of course. But line of sight, I feel like in this game, it's pretty easy. It just goes from the center of one space to the center of another space. So easy does it. So that was her first action. So she's going to go 2, 3, and 4 and be ready to pick up that item next turn. And now we will go to the reaction phase, but there are no monsters. That's why they want to open the door, because these zombies would have activated, and there's 2 zombies there. So I guess we'll just have her stay there and pick up that item. We don't need to pick up the items in order to win. All we have to do is escape. But, you know, it's nice to pick up stuff, right? Maybe she can get some bullets so she can start using her gun again. All right, let's get a attention, and it's an all clear, so we're good. So let's go back to Barry's turn. Barry is over there. He's going to move, because what else can he do, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, and stand right here. And next turn, he'll open the door. I guess Rebecca's going to have to go first with that door, isn't she? All right. And then, of course, we would go to the reaction phase, but he still has the monsters, so we go to the tension phase, and we get another all clear. Of course, we know that most of these cards are all clears, right? And we've already picked up 1 that wasn't all clear, so now there's only 2 that are not all clear, so we have a pretty high chance of getting those all clears all the time. All right, back to Rebecca. She's going to pretty much have a similar turn than Barry's last turn, not last turn, but last turn before last, because she's going to pick this up, and what does she get? She gets green herbs, which, you know, is good because it's a medical item. I mean, either one would have been good because we do need the bullets if we're going to start using our gun. But she can use these without using an action, so these are great for her. I guess I'm glad that she got this one and not him. It says heal this character or another character in the same or an adjacent square by 1 level. So we'll keep that, and a level just means from, you know, 1 to the other, right? So if she was hurt here, she would heal 1. But remember, she heals an additional because of her ability. Now that I'm healing right now, I'm just trying to remember all of these people's abilities. That was just her first action, so for her second action, she'll go here. I don't know. I don't think I want her opening the door, to be honest with you, because it's not like she can shoot at them, because there's not going to be any line of sight from here to here because of the corner. So I think she's just going to stay and hopefully get it all clear. The reaction phase, no zombies in on her space or linked tile, so we're good. So go to the tension phase, and now hopefully Barry, who's better at shooting and has bullets, can take care of those guys. So for his first action, he's going to open this door, say hello to the zombies. It's tight here. Let's see. All right. For his second action, he's going to attack, and you have to choose a target, because even if you get like 3 hits, which of course it sounds really hard, but even if you get one of the hits that you need to kill 1 zombie, you can't pass the extra damage to the next zombie. And remember, because we're attacking a zombie, we're going to get out of sequence reactions. But first, let's finish this attack. So he's going to target, I don't know, the guy with the hand, because he takes more space. So he's going to roll, let's roll 2. I think we did good with 2 last time. We're down to 8 bullets. This will give us 8 bullets, which will be more than our max. So maybe we can do 3. Yeah, we can roll 3. Putting us at 10. Actually, no, we're still good. We still have 10, and this is 8. So we would go up to 18, and we can only go over up to 50. Only 15 bullets fit in the gun. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, but we're going to be rolling 3 then, because I know we've got the bullets in I don't really plan on going over to this side. My escape route is right there. I do not need to deal with these guys. I do not need to pick up those extra items. We're just getting out of here. So I think I can afford using a little bit more bullets. We're gonna roll 3, but I wanted to show you there's also this red die, which they don't have, but it has this other symbol that usually has a different effect from the hit symbol or the push symbol. And this one, of course, cannot be used to evade. And we got him because of his ability, because, well, actually, it would have been a success because of the push, but we actually killed him because of his ability to turn that symbol into a hit. So we get rid of him, and that was his second action. I think for his third action, he's going to try to get rid of the other one. So we're going to, should we go down to 7? 7 plus 8 is 15. Yeah, let's go down to 7 because we can replenish. Of course, we need an action to replenish because in order to use our items, that takes an action. But this is his, let's see, he opened the door, he shot. So this is his third action. So he can maybe use that as his fourth action to replenish if he does succeed in getting the zombie. He's rolling 3 again. And he got successes on all of them. He got 2 hits and a push. And hits are 1 damage. So yes, that's what we need. Yeah, I mean, it is a tutorial, right? We don't expect it to be super hard. He has 1 more action, so yes, I'll do what I said I was going to do. I will spend my action to get 8 bullets. And this gets discarded. We're not going to see it again, so I can just put it down here, I guess. So less distractions on the table. But he's back to max bullets. And there's only 1 zombie standing in my way because this zombie's not going to move because he's got a closed door here. So unless somebody opens this door, he will not disturb us. So we have 1 zombie on the board. I think we're okay. Now we go to the, oh, actually, before I did all that, I already forgot. I knew it. This little guy would have had, after the first attack, this little guy would have had an out of action, I guess. Actually, an out of sequence reaction is what it's called, because we made an attack and we actually killed the enemy. Each enemy on the same or linked tiles performs a move reaction, so he would have moved. But it doesn't matter, and then, because on the next turn, for our next action, we actually killed him. So, looking back, he would have been here, but the gun can still shoot him here, and we already shot and rolled and everything, and I'm not going to do it again, so we killed him. But if not, Barry would have gotten hurt this turn. We wouldn't have been successful at defeating the monster. Although, when you fail, it's when you evade a hit. So we haven't talked about evading hits when we talked about it. We haven't seen it because we haven't had the need. We've been, killing monsters left and right. But if an enemy attacks you, you try to evade the roll, and then you get the chance to push the monster or the zombie away 1 tile in any direction you wish. So that's for you to know. Because I don't know if we're going to see that since we only have 1 zombie left. Okay, but he's done, and I don't think I did the tension yet. So we'll give him an all clear, and now it's Rebecca's turn. She should have a pretty easy turn. We're going to do 1 action to open the door, 2, 3, and then sure, we'll open this door for 4. And now these tiles are linked, so during the reaction phase, the zombie's going to get closer to us. But I'm hoping Barry can take care of that. We're going to go to our deck, and hopefully nothing bad. No, it's all clear. Okay. So now Barry's going to go, and for his first action, he'll move. And for his second action, he's going to shoot. He couldn't have shot him from here because there's no line of sight. But now he has clear line of sight through that open door. So I think it's worth trying to kill him. So we'll use 3 bullets. And that's his second action. And he got a hit and a push. This is not a success, though. The only one that counts as a success, it would be this one. But it doesn't matter because we got it. Yeah, I do feel like Barry is pretty OP in this game. Having a healer is great, but we don't need a healer if we're not taking any damage. Anyways, that was the second action, so 3, 4. Now we go to the reaction, but there are no monsters on the linked tiles, so we move on to the tension, and it's an all clear. So Rebecca's going to go, And she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and for her fourth action, she does need to take an action. She'll leave. And once you leave, you can't help your teammates, so Barry's there on his own. But there are no reaction because there's no monsters. And for her attention, she gets an all clear. And then it's Barry's turn, and Barry can just do 1 and leave. And I don't know that we need to draw no attention, but we got an all clear, so it's good. And that was it. That was the whole tutorial. It's very, very similar to other Resident Evil games, I must say. At least until now, until this part, right? But I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, guys, there you have it. That was a full run-through of Resident Evil, the board game, at least the tutorial, so you can have an idea of what the game feels like when you're playing it and when you're battling monsters. Now, there's a lot more in this game. This is actually a campaign-based game, so you're going to have to keep track of what rooms you've gone into, and those rooms will allow you to go into other scenarios. So not what rooms, what scenarios you've completed, and those scenarios or buildings will let you open up branches to go into other places, and there's a story behind all of this. So there's a lot more, and also, like I said, this is just the basic rules, so there are more rules, including corpses, including lots more things that do give it a little bit of a different feeling from other Resident Evil games if you continue reading and you add the additional rules. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you do want to see the additional rules, let me know, and I can, show you a little bit more of how the campaign goes and what the full rules are like. But at least this gives you a basic idea and see if you enjoy the game. Hope you did. I'll see you guys on the next one. May you play more games.